Hello everyone, this is Scott from Pivot, and I'd like to highlight a technical note from Chromatic Technologies. And in most cases, we would highlight a new application or a new phase or something like that. Today, I want to talk about column end fittings and connections and some of the findings that Chromatic has found while using their columns and fittings on different systems. And so this video is a brief summary of what's spoken about in the technical note and as well as some other accompanying data as well. So I'm going to proceed here. As many chromatographers know, the standard connections are using set screws and ferrules as noted in the figure here in A, B, and C. We will also highlight two kinds of fitting standards. One is company W, as noted here, or Waters, or the Parker type system. We will highlight that further down in this presentation. And so some problems that are caused by different end fitting standards include some of these highlighted here. So in A, you may have a short tube from the ferrule tip. This creates dead volume and results in broad peaks. Or B, a long tube from the ferrule tip, and this creates a void around the fitting and leaks occur. I mean, ideally, you're looking for a tube with the optimal length from the ferrule tip, and hence there is no dead volume. This paper also talks about the various ferrules as well. So initially there were metal ferrules, and then as time went on, we have the peak ferrules as well. And these were more heat resistant as well as chemical resistant, but had challenges with higher pressure. Then there were more integrated ferrules as well, but then as UHPLC became more prevalent, metal ferrules were being used more and more again. So what about compatibility with different end fittings? I want you to look at this diagram here. And so one, we have company W on the left, again, Waters for UHPLC over here. And then we have for the Parker type, we have the IDEX isobar hardware. So we'll compare these two. And some differences to note include the taper angle of company W or Waters UHP end fitting is 36 degrees, while that of the IDEX isobar hardware is 40 degrees. Another difference is that the depth of the taper area of the Waters column is 4.2 millimeters, while that of the Parker type is 1.9 millimeters. And there's a few more differences that are highlighted as well. But what's important here is how these work. So if you take a Waters column or Waters system and connect it to Parker tubing, there is a little bit of a void, but not enough to cause any leaks or anything like that. So overall, a company W's hardware will work fine on a Parker type system, while we have to look at a Parker type or IDEX isobar hardware and connections working with Waters tubing. This, unfortunately, has a bit of a void, and this void could cause broader peaks as well as causing tailing as well. And so we've got to look at that. We have to look at that difference. And some people may not know this when using different columns, particularly a Parker type hardware on a Waters system. So how do we solve that? How can we eliminate this risk? One of the suggestions we have is to use a connection method that does not use a ferrule, such as the MarvelX and MarvelXACT system. So here you can see some of this in A, B, and C highlights the MarvelX tubing and column end fittings here. As this developed, we also have the same in the MarvelXACT format. And this just has a more of a torque type set screw, which helps to eliminate over tightening. So it's like a torque and it snaps when a chemist tightens these fittings. These are available for both. They're both biocompatible. So it'd be PEEK line stainless steel with a PEEK resin inside, or you could also get the standard stainless steel tubing as well. I want to jump to just to show some comparison if you use these MarvelXACT. Here's just an application we have using a sun shell, a core shell column, 2 micron, 2.1 millimeter by 50, but we're using the different types of tubing. So we have, looking at the MarvelX tubing, you can see that the theoretical plate number increases, the tailing factor decreases, and the peak width narrows. And so these are just some of the advantages of adding the MarvelX or the MarvelXACT to use with your columns, and it helps to eliminate some of this confusion. If you have any questions, please do let us know. We're looking forward to hearing your comments. Thank you.